This is Friday Sews for Friday, February the 7th. I got that. Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline, and welcome to Friday Sews for February 7th. I've been away for 2 weeks because it's just been busy, and I wanted to come back, do a video on last Friday, but things just getting in the way and did not find the most appropriate time to do it. So I apologize for that. But I am coming today to share with you what I've done in the past 2 weeks, and since my last video, and some fails. Actually, I had one fail. I'll share that with you, and my plans. And also, I thought that I would get on the bandwagon of the Fabric Wheel of Fate. And a lot of my Friday Sews buddies have been on it. And I think the person who has started this hashtag is Carol from So Carol. I will link her channel below. The idea it was to use up some fabric that has been in our stash for a while, but I'll talk about that later. So, what have I done before in the past 2 weeks? One of them is this. This is the Love Notions. I'll put up pictures. Love Notions octave coat. Yes, that's the one. And I'll maybe pull it down a little bit so you can see the whole entire um, coat. I am very pleased with this. Okay, sorry. I am very pleased with this make. This actually, I accomplished one of my make nines for the year, which was a winter coat or a coat. And I had a few winter coats in mind, but those were like inspiration. Just I put winter coat and I put it's actually on my bulletin board right there. And and I've accomplished that, one of my make nines, which is great. So I was just looking, what did I do with it? Yep, yeah, it's on there. So the octave coat was, I made this before. The first time I made this coat was in 2020. I think that's when it came out, 2019, end of, no, 2020, yes, because that was the, excuse me, pandemic year. And that was when I was going through chemo. And I decided one day, I used to make things, new things to wear because I had chemo every other Friday, and I would make something new to wear, and which would just uplift me so much. And all the nurses knew that I was wearing something new, and that was me made, and and it was like the talk in the at Johns Hopkins chemo, the breast cancer center. It was great. So I made it. If I find a picture, I'll put it up here. I made it actually last time in 2020. I made a 2X, and it was great. It was my first time, so there were a lot of learning things. I learned a lot. It was a little um, I learned during that, so I made that. Then I made it again last year. I'll put another picture. Again, I made a 2X, and that was with a wide lapel collar. I enjoyed that. But now, as I've said before, I have my sizes, my measurements have changed. So I went from a 2X, and this is a size large, and it is also a little bit loose, but it's very well fitting. This is a size large, and I just love, and very warm. The fabric is from Joann Fabrics. I saw it at their what is that? That Last Chance fabric area, and I saw it and I said, should I get it? Should I not? I even went home And I this fabric, I even dreamt of the fabric, and then the next morning I went and got it. It's such a great fabric, super warm, and I love that how this coat kind of wraps around you and keeps you warm. And let me just I put the belt. Obviously, it has the belt loops here to keep the belts in place. It has a tiny button here. Now, this was seemed random for me because I didn't have a proper button, but I just put it in there. But oh well, it goes. Nobody sees the button. It's covered by the belt anyway. It's just to keep it closed. And I love this lining. Isn't that gorgeous, that lining? I love the lining. I didn't find anything difficult about this coat. I did have to serge because this fabric was, it frayed quite a bit. So I did do a lot of serging before I, put the lining in and all that stuff. But, and then it has these great, oh, there's something in my pocket. So, I like the deep pockets because I always tend to put my hands in the pocket. What a wonderful coat. One of my make nines. This is what I accomplished in the past 2 weeks. And the unfortunate part of it, I make this, well, you go into the garage, and I go into the office when it's dark, and I go from garage to garage to garage and garage. And so I never get to really wear it out. So I'm going to be wearing it to church or, um, you know, going out shopping or something. I take it to work just in case we decide to go out for lunch or something. But anyway, so this was one of my makes. I'm going to take it out and put the next make on. Now, the next make is the Love Notions Piano Forte. And I'll put pictures of what I've made. And I wore it with t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt I got from Target. I was thinking in the end, maybe even a white shirt would go well with it. A white t-shirt would, to change it up a bit, so it looks so it would look different. I hope I got that right. Yeah. So, ah, okay. So this is the Love Notions Piano Forte. Now this, trying to get it all down. Sorry. Anyway, it was a very nice make. Really, I love, as you know, most of my, if you follow me on Instagram, also, little plug here for Caroline Handmade on Instagram. You will see I put some pictures there. This is a suiting fabric I purchased at Fabric Mart Fabric, and it was great. It's medium weight, good for the winter, and it's sewed up very well. It has also, this one has some nice deep pockets here. I've never made such a like a pinafore kind of dress, you know. Mm, wasn't like a, yeah, a pinafore kind of dress. It was my first time. I kind of felt younger. It made me feel good. It made me feel younger, which was great because I was like, oh, I feel younger in this, in the, not my typical dresses. So I loved making it. The fabric frayed a lot, and I was, um, yeah, I had to do a lot of, obviously I serged all the, the seams and all the salvages, but boy, did that fabric fray. I like the fabric, but it frayed like the Dickens. Anyway, so and then I made one. My daughter asked for one too, so that's where the fail comes in. I made one for my daughter. Made one, almost done with it. And then when I went to put in this, oh, by the way, this is the way they put in this a sleeve band or whatever, the shoulder, these bands here, is by doing the burrito method. And then when I went to put in my daughter's, I realized, I don't know what I was, maybe I was too sleepy or tired when I cut this out. It was cut so wrong. It looked like the pattern, or the pattern had slipped underneath, and I didn't realize it, or the pattern was off, and I don't have enough fabric, and I cut the back here, the back arm side, like really, I'm not even going to explain this properly, but really off. Literally, even if I pulled it, because I actually did the burrito method and pulled it out, and it looked twisted because my cutting was way off. I like literally chopped off the back, a lot, and it was a huge fail. And where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. This is such a beautiful fabric, and as you can see now this, I am not sure how to. It's just twisted. I'm not sure what. Yeah, here you go. The back of this here is just, this arm tie is just so off. It needs a few more inches. It needs like at least 2 more inches, and I don't have enough fabric. Even if I attach it, it's not going to work. And I have no idea how to fix it. And this is such a beautiful fabric. I finished this one this one armhole, and this side is a disaster. I feel bad. This is such a great suiting fabric, nice weight from Fabric Mart Fabric, but sometimes you just have to call it a loss and just forgive yourself and start all over again. Now, as you know, I have a whole lot of fabric, a lot, okay? Insane amount of fabric. I have this room, which has, let me not even go there. So fabric, fabric collecting, fabric shopping is a whole nother hobby from sewing. So I went in the sewing room in the back, in my fabric room. I do have a fabric room. And I was looking through it. I actually found a similar fabric, but I'm going to save that for another day. Maybe I'll make a pair of. By the way, that fabric was from Fabric Mart Fabric, like I said, but it was $1.99 a yard. So I don't feel so bad, but I do. So I went and found this one in my fabric stash. I'm going to cut it again this week and make it again for my daughter. It's still cold here, and she would love it. And she really likes these kind of, plaid suiting fabric. That was my next make, and that was a fail. I think this video is going to be a little long. Please bear with me. And then I did some embroidery. I've caught a bug. It's called the embroidery bug. It's insane. Once I get embroidering on my machine, I have a beautiful machine that my husband gifted me. It's right here. You can see it is the Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 2. I it's huge. It does such beautiful embroidery, and it does sewing. I usually sew on it, but I've caught the bug, and I've been embroidering like no one's business. I'm telling you. So I had to put up my other machines. I have other Viking machines, so I pulled up my Topaz 40 and 50, and I put it up. I'm going to set up a little table while the embroidery. What I've been doing while the embroidery's been going, I've been sewing on the side, because when it's embroidering, you have nothing to do other than twiddle your fingers. So I'm like, I might as well sew or cut or do something. So what I've been doing is embroidering. Let me show you. The first one is this one right here on the bulletin. I'll take a picture and put it up. It's this little thing from Designs by Juju. It said, "Go sew something." It's just a little thing to go on my bulletin board. Again, another company, the company that I've been using, is Designs by Juju. So I made this for the home. Oh my gosh, I found this. The fruits of the spirit. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, I hang it up in the living room and the hallway. I think the embroidery bug hasn't left me as yet, so you are going to see quite a bit of it. I did have some challenges. It's very easy to embroider, and I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about, and you all embroider. So, you just load the file on the machine and just follow the instructions, just like a pattern. You follow the instructions and it goes, it does its thing. This whole thing, it took me about 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 hours to embroider this whole thing. I did it over a week, a little at a time, and about 30 minutes to put the backing and put the blocks together. I did have some challenges, and I luckily, the woman at the Joann's Viking Gallery, the women there who sold me these machines, I became a big Husqvarna Viking fan uh, before the pandemic, about 2017. We became very close friends. And I would just go and sit and just chat and talk to them. And, we just became good friends. The lady there left. Both the ladies, one of the ladies became a regional manager of Husqvarna Viking, and the other lady moved on. She now lives in Florida. But I called her. I texted. I was like, because my machine kept bunching while I was doing it, the embroidery machine. I was getting so frustrated. I said, "Oh my gosh, I got to take it to get it serviced or something." I'm like, "Oh gosh, these machines are so expensive." And then and just frustrating. And I was like, "Oh, I can't part with my machine." Well, I can. And so it kept bunching. So I called her, and in the middle of the night, she was also up embroidering. It was about 11 p.m. I saw that she was online, and I said, "Nancy, please help me." And she said, "Caroline," and we talked, we chatted, and then she said, "You're just not looping the thread correctly." Like, how can that be? I've been doing this for so long. How can I know I did this? And no, so I went to bed. And the next morning, I actually wasn't looping it correctly. I mean, I was threading it correctly. It kind of needed to, it would come out here, and over here, it actually needed to. It actually, you actually have to hear it like kind of click, like catch in the thread loops, and then it was fine. So user error and going to bed when you're tired. That's the key. So I had to hear my mistakes. It kept bunching. I had to show you. There's another fail. So and one in my frustration, I banged I kind of hit the embroidery arm, so everything's kind of flipped, switched places, and then I had to start all over again. Okay, this video is going to be long, so I am making another one for my parents in this because my parents, both of them, like yellow. And so I am going, these are the blocks, the fruits of the spirit blocks. I have one, the last block to do. Mm, yeah. And then I'm going to take it to them. They will be really, I know my parents, they'll be so happy. Oh, of the Love Notions piano forte, I'm just looking at my fabric stash. Yes, my daughter asked me to make one for spring as well. So she really liked a fabric at Hobby Lobby, just a cotton out of this. Isn't that pretty? She's a very ditzy floral girl. She likes that. So I'm gonna make the pianoforte out of that. That is that is my sewing plans. Now, the fabric wheel of fate. I decided to join in. And let me quickly, I'm just so sorry that I think this video is going to take some time. Um, the fabric wheel of fate. I'm going to share with you so I went through my sewing, all this fabric behind me, behind the camera, the side, in the room, and just randomly picked up 7 fabrics. I actually didn't go and say, "Oh, this has been sitting in my stash." I just randomly said, "Okay, I'm going to pick one from each shelf, basically." And this is number one. It's a rayon challis. It's very, I feel like it's a tropical, huge print on it. I think I see myself making a dress out of it. I got this from Fabric Mart Fabrics, and this is number one. Yeah, I've seen a lot of my friends do this. I think it was Zelda from Zelda Sews, Karen from KGFL Creations, and on Instagram, my dear friend Jane Gilson, she's done it. I just like it. So I said, and Jane said I would love doing it. So I said, okay, I'm going to join in. And that's number one. Number two, that's from Fabric Mart Fabrics. It's $1.99 a yard. This is also from Fabric Mart Fabrics. This is number two. It's a knit. It's a heavier weight, medium weight knit. I want to make a lounge. I'm thinking a loungewear set for home, but I want to make it. Yeah, I'm thinking of a loungewear slash PJ set. And now, why did I miss? Where is my? Oh, here. This one here is also from Fabric Mart Fabrics, and this is number three. It's a shirting fabric. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. You will see when I make it. I'm not going to give myself a deadline. I'm not even sure if there's a deadline to do this, but it's going to get done. I need to check if there's a deadline. This is fabric number four. Oh, here you go. And it's this. It's a very lightweight. It could be a nice flowy top for the, spring, summer coming up. That's number four. Number five is this sort of poplin. That fabric that I just showed you, number four, that was from Fashion Fabrics Club. And number five here is a poplin, sort of cotton poplin. I got this from, it's been washed, and, I need to iron it out before I cut it. I got this at Fabric Mart Fabrics. Let's see what happens with that. Number five, I'm actually really interested. I kept passing this fabric by for a couple of years now. Number six is this. It's also been sitting, this has been sitting in my stash for a long, long time. And because I think it's a chevron print and I didn't really know what to do with the chevron, so I'm going to be interested to see what I make with the chevron print. That's number six. It's a knit, it's a lightweight knit. And number seven has been sitting in my stash for a long, long time, at least 5 years. This one is so pretty. It's number seven. It's a really medium weight to heavy weight. I want to say this is not a, like, it feels like a double brush, but it also feels like a scuba. I feel like it's a scuba knit. And just look at that. It's just so gorgeous. So I'm not sure but it's been in the bottom of my stash. I kept passing it by thinking, oh my gosh, I just didn't know. Nothing clicked. So I'm glad I picked those seven. And I put seven numbers in this vase. I'm going to shake it. And I don't know come on. I don't even know if there's a deadline. So if there's a deadline and if anyone's watching, can you put it there on my, in the comments so I know? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to pick let's see what I pick. I'm not going to look, obviously. Did I pick one? Did I pick one? Come on, there's one sticking. Okay, let's see what I picked. Oh, number one. Let's see what number one. I picked number one. Number one was the bottom one. Number one, this. So this is going to be my first make. It's going to be a spring make. Let's see what happens with that. The next thing I want to talk to you is about certain patterns that I printed out. That's for my week. I'm going to be cutting. I'm going to be having a cutting session tonight. It's Friday. I'm actually on a lunch break. So once work is done, dinner's done, I'm going to have a cutting session. I want to share with you some of the patterns I printed out real quickly. This is the Seamwork Alice t-shirt. It's just a t-shirt, but I printed out this one in my size, and I wanted to make a t-shirt for me. It seems like a fitted t-shirt. I am going to make that. And I'll tell you why I'm going to make that, because I printed out the Love Notions Metro Blazer. I'm in the mood to make a suit, a black suit. So I printed out the Love Notions Metro Blazer. I will put a picture here. Excuse me, in one of the videos I said I have tons of black Ponte. That's going to happen. I also printed out the Love Notions Sabrina Slims. So I was planning to put the Love Notions Sabrina Slims, the Metro Blazer in black. And then I also printed the Love Notions Classic Tee, the 3/4 length. And I'm going to make a suit. So a black Metro Blazer, black Sabrina Slims, and the Classic Tee, and make a suit, like a suit for work. So that was my idea, and those are 3 patterns I printed out. I also printed out the Cashmerette Swanton blouse. It's this one. And I also, it's out of a cotton. I actually went to I'll share it. It's there on the side. I washed it. It's a cotton yellow fabric that I liked. So I'm going to make it out of that. I also printed out the Cashmerette New Vinton pants. And I'm going to do the slimmer fit right here because I like a slimmer fit. I don't want this loose here. I want this one, what this young lady is wearing. I printed that out. And the last one I also printed one more, which is the Seamwork Palmer pants, which I really like. I want this year to be the year of pants. I really enjoy wearing pants as well. A good pair of pants, I really do. And most of my pants are either, believe it or not, I love my pants from Target. They fit well. Or I just pick up every time I go to Costco. They have some great pants. Like most of them are knit, Ponte, and I like them. But I want to make them. I want this year to be the year of pants. I really do. People say that making pants is actually easy. So I think if I put my mind to it, I can perfect this. You know, if you've seen my previous videos, I made the duet trousers. The fitting was not just there. One was too loose and one was too tight. And it was the same size. It was just a different fabric. So it was 2 different fabrics that came out very differently. So I'm sorry, this was a very chatty video, but thank you so much for watching and for hearing me rant on. Um, and I will come back to you next week and share with you the things I sewed and embroidered, since this bug is still in me. And before I go, I would like to share with you one of these Bible texts from you for you today. It's Friday, February 7th, and it's entitled Dream. I love this verse. It's my favorite. I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Philippians 4:13. Yes, that's absolutely true. I can tell you so many stories about that in my own personal life. And God gives me a lot of strength and a lot of reason to be happy and be joyful, and even in trials, I should say, really in trials, God, just so I can do everything through Christ who gives me the strength. I'll talk to you all later. God bless you all and have a beautiful and wonderful weekend. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.